York is responding to the outbreak of COVID-19 by creating a containment zone and limiting large gatherings. They're also deploying the National Guard in order to assist with the containment efforts. And there are a number of colleges and universities that have decided to shut down, cancel classes, and in some cases only offer online options. So let me give you some of what New York is planning so far. New York's plan focuses on a containment area in New Rochelle, where it will deploy the National Guard to clean schools and deliver food to quarantined residents. The area is a 1 mile radius centered around a synagogue in New Rochelle, believed to connect many of the cases in the cluster. So there was about a cluster of around 90 individuals who had tested positive for coronavirus. And so this is the reason why they're doing their best to try to contain that. Schools, houses of worship, and other large gathering spaces within the area will be closed 2 weeks beginning on Thursday. Businesses such as grocery stores and delis would remain open. Now, just to give you a sense of which universities are shutting down for the time being, you have Columbia University, Fordham University, St. John's University, Yeshiva University, and New York University announced that classes would be canceled or offered online. And as for Rutgers, they are planning on resuming classes in person after April 3rd, but for the moment being, they are offering classes online.
Okay, so catch you up on international numbers and then tell you why this is different than the flu, which does kill more people or has killed more people so far. But first of all, 116,000 cases throughout the world of COVID-19, 4,000 people have already died, 800 people in the US infected, and at least 27 people have died. So why are people more concerned about this than they would be about the flu that usually kills more people? Well, it's because this has a higher lethality rate. That's one of the issues. So the flu kills less than 1% of the people that it affects. It affects a lot of people, but it does not kill, obviously, a high percentage of them, thank God. Still, it affects so many people that a good number of folks die, unfortunately. But COVID-19 is a very wide range that scientists talk about. Down at 1.5% is still problematic because it's significantly higher than the flu and other diseases that spread, but could be all the way up to 4%. So anything that gets to 2% and higher is a disastrous number. And so that's far too many people who contract it who then die, and it also spreads easier. And so obviously one of the big issues you've probably heard about already is the 14 days that is an incubation period where you might not have it, or you might have it but you don't know it. So you're interacting with people and you're spreading the virus everywhere. And that is why they're shutting down larger areas. That's why Bernie Sanders shut down a rally today, because somebody might seem perfectly fine, interact with 10 people, 20, 100 people, and all of a sudden they all have it. And then they interact with people and it spreads and spreads and spreads. And hence the mild panic that we're seeing right now.
Right, so a few things. Both Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden canceled their rallies in Ohio as a result of what's going on with this virus. And when it comes to the number of people who have died as a result of COVID-19, keep in mind that for now, at least, it appears that the people most vulnerable to this virus, costing them their lives, are people who have compromised immune systems, or maybe they have other health conditions that further complicate the consequences of the virus. So younger people, if they do in fact get this virus, they're more likely to beat it. Not everyone is hospitalized once it's determined that they tested positive for it. The only people who tend to be hospitalized are older individuals and those who have compromised immune systems.
Yeah, in fact, most people are not hospitalized. 80% of folks are not hospitalized when they have it, and the good news is it appears to affect children less. Senior citizens, unfortunately, are affected more. Look, when you're in a confined space and an outbreak happens, it's super scary. That's part of the reason why it reminds us of the movies. The Grand Princess is about the dock in San Francisco. They have at least 21 cases on board. But then they worry because they got to keep them on board. But when you're on board, they're worried it spreads and spreads and spreads. Now one of the places they're concerned about is jails, because if you got an outbreak, it's very hard to contain within the jail. So they're now emphasizing cleanliness there, cleaning the showers 3 times a day, and the list goes on for precautions. We do have to take these precautions because if it has a high lethality rate and it spreads uncontrollably because we don't know who has it, then we're gonna have massive problems. And so the quicker we act to contain the cases we already know about, the better off we are, because then you buy time. It doesn't mean that you solve it, but you buy time. Now, right now, this another reason why COVID-19 is so problematic is there is no cure, there's no treatment, whereas there are some forms of treatment for other viruses that spread. So one of the things we're buying time for is for scientists to work around the clock to try to find a vaccine, a cure, and or treatment.
Right, and there's also a lot of pressure on the health industry, right? So we need to slow down the spread in the very least to kind of mitigate mitigate some of the problems within the healthcare industry in our country, right? So that's one other issue.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat, emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.